Once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. Yes, it's about that time. It's Friday, man. A lot going on. It's fight week. Of course, we have two of the biggest names right now that's taking over. That's Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. Elvis Rodriguez is on the scale right now. There was a lot riding behind Elvis Rodriguez initially. He still has stock in the game, man. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be a live, basically touching bases on the way in, Caleb Plant and Saul Canelo Alvarez. And then I'm going to do a reaction on the Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz presser that went down today. It's going to be strictly audio, but it was interesting for me. It is because it was a last minute fight, last minute opponent for Devin Haney, and I thought it was a good, solid press conference from both fighters. Talking with the media, I did. I thought it was good on Devin Haney part being a champion. He went first, and then freaking Jojo Diaz. I like that. I like that sombrero he has on. I like that. This looks like it's gonna be a good fight. They jockeying for position. They serious. Country versus country. That's one thing about the U.S. We don't really have country versus country. You know what I'm saying? Well, I take that back. Let me clarify. I'm talking about when it comes U.S. to U.S. You know what I'm saying? When these Latino countries get together, man, it's all out motherfucking Armageddon. You know, Puerto Rico, DR, Mexican, Puerto Rico, shit, Mexican versus Mexican. They're on a whole nother level of intensity right there. You come in the building, man. Hit the like button if you choose to. I can't force you to do shit. But if you unwilling to do something that takes very little energy as that, who am I to tell you? Who am I to tell you, bro? Yeah, but we're gonna get to this Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz press reaction. I kind of got to give them both of them thumbs up for talking with the media the way they did. They not only talked to the media, but they spoke on other subjects, topics, other fights that's coming up. I mean, it kept it interesting, man. Some fighters only want to talk about their fight. Both of these fighters talked about, responded to miscellaneous questions that was asked about other fighters. I.e. Teofimo Lopez. Devin Haney was asked more so about Teofimo Lopez at certain points of his interview. And in my opinion, he kept it short, straight to the point. He defended if he needed something to defend. Then besides that, he kept it moving. Jojo Diaz, he kind of made mention about what he felt about Ryan Garcia. And he made a lot of sense in what he was saying about Ryan Garcia. I've been saying that shit for quite some time now about Garcia. Jojo just put it in a different temperature when he said it with his tone. Jojo picked up his tone when they asked him about Ryan Garcia. And this is the the undercard, bro. Y'all be patient, man. Ray Vargas, 34-0, 22 knockouts. Leonardo Baez. Baez weighs in 126 and a half. Former super bantamweight champion of the world, Ray Vargas, on deck. Ray Vargas, 120, 125. Ray Vargas coming off a couple of year layoff, man. 24 months, like it's cool. Super shredded, big for the weight class, in my opinion. I know how television, the lens is quite deceptive, but Ray Vargas is, hey, he has some size on him and height too. Dude is super shredded though, god damn it. Baez got that Mikey Garcia, physical layout. But Ray Vargas is motherfucking shredded like somebody took a knife to a carrot, god damn it. You can see the height difference. You can obviously see the conditioning difference between Baez and Vargas. Vargas, a former super bantamweight world champion. They trying to have a pose off. It's not even close. It's not even close. I had to get at the Vargas. He came in tremendous shape, and it is what it is, man. I know it's not a physique contest, but dude, his fins was shredded. The fins or the obliques. Dude was in there working out. We're gonna see how he looked tomorrow night, man. Being that he had a pretty extensive layoff, man. Right now, at this day and time, man, taking 12, 15, 20 months off, man, it's almost like nothing. Yeah, fighters this contending, it's a year. So I'm like, are these only the fighters who have sponsorship or whatever? I mean, what are you making your money? Are you saving it? You can't be that frugal. King Mitch on deck. What's good there with it? What's been good on a Friday, man? We're trying to see if boxing is going to look soft today. Are they going to have somebody standing in between the fighters, putting 2 layers of plexiglass up there? Goddamn, bringing in Floyd Mayweather security. Goddamn, calling in 3 members of the National Guard to post up in between, right by these individuals, and grab a member of the Secret Service, just to oversee the entire project. Are we going to see soft boxing? You know what I'm saying? With these weigh-ins, only because they got physical before. Man, come on, man. When Riddick Bowe landed the 2-piece on Larry Donald, they still fought. They still fought that night. And you know what? He had a cut. He had a cut inside his lip from Riddick Bowe landing with no gloves on. They still fought, man. They still fought. This day and time, man, you have 30 motherfuckers standing up there like they don't know, man. That goes Sugar Hill, man. Darrell. Hold on. Let me see what Darrell has to say. Marcos Hernandez on the scale first for the super middleweight bout. Weight limit 169. He's 168. Goddamn, Hernandez look like a goddamn, like he fresh out the goddamn bed. For real. But the rail, we already know, man. As much as they're not a favorite of mine, we already know the rails, man. They're business for real. You can't say anything less, man. They're about their business. People may not have them on their favorite list as a, but they come in here and they fight, man. You know what I'm saying? They can box their ass off. I ain't gonna lie. 168 and a half for Anthony Durrell. The weight limit was 169. 169. This should be a pretty good fight here. I know a lot of people not speaking on it, but this Durrell Hernandez fight should look real nice, man. Once they open it up in the first and the fight gets underway, I think it's going to be a pretty impactful fight. Real talk. Noel on deck, UFC or boxing tomorrow. Both, man. Both. It's gonna be both, man. Hey Noel, what you thinking about? UFC or boxing tomorrow? What you thinking about? Because to me, it depends on how much of a avid fan you are of combat sports, whether it be UFC or boxing. I think UFC card is steps above the boxing card, regardless of Canelo being top pound for pound. It's just the energy that the UFC gives off by putting on multiple championship fights all the time. You know, you have Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, man. Both of them are former world champions in neighboring organizations. Then you have the only female fighter to lose her title and regain it, Rose Namajunas. She's going in there against the first Chinese female champion, Wali Zhang, again, defending her title. And of course, the welterweight, the man is tearing it up, undefeated in the UFC. Kamaru Usman going in there against Kobe Covington too. That shit's gonna be fire. And then you know what's crazy is that Kamaru Usman and Kobe Covington is nowhere on the level of Canelo Alvarez, but their buzz is sounds off more than what people are buzzing about Canelo and Plant. This shit's gonna be 5 rounds, 5 minutes apiece, and then you're looking at 12 rounds for Caleb Plant and Canelo. But it's the combination of the two fighters that brings that brashness, that brings that damn entertainment value that people looking for in a fight. And that's what Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington, that shit's gonna be fireworks, man. It's gonna be punishing for real. We here on deck. We here. Hit the like, yes, sir, man. Appreciate you. Hit the like button, man. It's such little effort. We just watching the weigh-ins right now, and then we're gonna talk about Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz. Man, y'all hit that like button, man. Canelo and Caleb Plant are up next. Canelo, I definitely have to give it to him on how he show up to the weigh-in. I know that's 100% silk PJs he got on, making it look like he just stepping out, just to give the people a little bit of airtime to check out the pound for pound, the top pound for pound fight in it. And it's one of the top pound for pound fighters in the sport. Yeah, we're getting the main event on deck. Saul Canelo Alvarez, 56 victories. That one lone defeat from the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. Y'all know who he is. Yes, sir. That one will always hunt him. Now it's time for Caleb Plant to goddamn cock it back and let the rounds go, man. Goddamn, put them rounds away. It's time. Let's go, Caleb. Every recipe that you ever put together, that deals with the science of boxing, make that shit that much sweeter this weekend, shout. We need for you to show up, man. We need for you to show out. We need all that shit from you, Canelo, Caleb Plant. We need all that. We need to shut Canelo Alvarez down this weekend, Shawty. You the man right now. You up next. You got to shut him down, man. It's got to be a place that you might have been before mentally, but you're gonna have to physically demonstrate you're able to fight up out of it this time. Because you're gonna have to go to a dark place. 12 rounds, you got to go to a dark place to get past Canelo and earn his respect. You got to go to a super dark place where you can't even see your hand in front of you there, Caleb Plant. Your body's gonna be uncomfortable. The pain might be unbearable. You're gonna have to fight up out that motherfucker, dog. You're gonna have to fight up out that space. You're gonna have to show them that boxing trumps power when it comes down to it. If you have that movement, if you have that resilience. J8 on deck. What's good with your J Ocho? Combat salute. I'm gonna be in after this weigh-in fam. Had to salute. Great night of combat sports tomorrow. Yes, sir. Absolutely. This shit is popping, man. We're gonna talk about that for real. Because man, people don't understand why I cover boxing, MMA, grappling, all that. MMA, man, they have multiple championship fights on a regularity. And tomorrow, man, they got Kamaru Usman, Kobe Covington too. And these guys are nowhere on the level of Canelo, but the shine, the buzz, people talking about that main event. They're talking about Rose Namajunas fighting Wiley Zhang as a co-main event in a championship fight. Let me see what they're saying about Caleb. I'm not gonna lie, whoever that Taylor is with those with that walking suit he has, that's just a walking suit. That shit's fly, man. That shit's fly. I'm not gonna lie, that gold that he's rocking, that shit fly. I gotta give him his props, man. That's a fly ass damn walking suit he has. Ain't nothing. Just to go out there, be around be around the crowd for a minute, then step back. Sit it down, eat, and get ready for tomorrow night's festivities. Super middleweight undisputed crown holder will absolutely be named tomorrow. Caleb Plant looks good. He doesn't look drained. He doesn't look like freaking Kell Brook did. You know what I'm saying? He looks in good condition, man. Real talk. Six pack on deck. Caleb ready. Gave his wife a wink. The IBF super middleweight world champion. Yes, sir. Looking tremendous shape, man. 167. He said, let's go, man. He said, let's go. He looks in great shape. Next on deck, man, is Cinnamon himself, man. Canelo Alvarez. He's the unified super middleweight world champion. Looking solid shape, man. Looking solid. Weighs in at a cool 168 pounds even. Now it's time for the Facebook. Now it's time for the face-off, right? Let's see how soft boxing is. Mauricio already talking to him, man. Come on, Mauricio. Come on, man. That shit's weak. If y'all don't let these cats face off for real, without somebody being in between them, that shit is soft, man. These guys has to fight tomorrow. Nobody's touching one another, but give it to the crowd. Give it to us. Let us see it. He's already telling Caleb the stay back here and shit. Soft, man. That's soft, bro. Caleb talking to the crowd like, nope. I'm gonna be the man. I'm the man, goddammit. Canelo, why you taking so long, bro? Come on, man. Y'all should already rehearse this shit before you came out on stage, man. Come on, Canelo. You taking a bit too long. Man, what are y'all doing holding them back? What is this, bro? Let them talk their shit. Let them talk their shit, man. I see Mike Tyson on stage. Why is that? Where was he when they was facing off? I'm saying Mike Tyson standing on the scale. What somebody grab Mike. Why let me see what Canelo has to say right quick. So you heard what you heard, man, from both fighters. Caleb just pretty much telling the fans, I said what I said. You can boo me all you want, but it's easy for you to be on the outside looking in than to be the actual contender that's on stage. And it makes all the sense in the world. He's right. It's easy to sit out there and be judgmental and root for your favorite fighter and boo a fighter that's really a good guy. Caleb Plant's a good guy. But like I say in boxing all the time, it's the dark science, bro. Boxing is a dark science. If you understand the overall encompassing definition or what it means when it comes to science, you know what I'm talking about. It means the entire umbrella, the entire energy, the entire format of what boxing consists of. And you can be one of those fighters who wake up in the morning and want to do everything right and think the fans are going to adore you. Only until you step in there with somebody that isn't as clean and in good nature as yourself. They might have just, won enough fights against certain individuals to earn the respect of the fans. They might have just had that, what they call it, schnick. They might just have that one little demeanor, what I'm saying, about them that people gravitate to. And Canelo, yes, we all know he has controversy behind him. He popped dirty and everything about that. But people has gravitated to him because early on in his career, he wasn't worried about his O. You have to salute him for not worrying about his O, but then you have to, cut that salute when it come to him popping dirty and putting all the stipulations on motherfucking fighters, hydration clause and all this other shit that goes along with his protocols. I mean, I'm not mad at what Canelo is doing to sell the fight. I'm not mad at what Caleb Plant is doing to sell the fight. I believe they genuinely don't like each other. And the only way to solve this and to settle the score is to step through the ropes tomorrow night and make history. And that is the first super middleweight undisputed world champion should be crowned tomorrow night. I don't think for 1 second it's going to end up like the junior middleweight championship for the undisputed titles ended up. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a definitive winner. I'm going for Caleb Sweet Hands Plant. Would it be an upset? I just want him to go in there and perform to the best of his ability. That's all. You know what I'm saying? I want him to perform to the best of his ability tomorrow night and hand Canelo Alvarez his second loss. 56-2. Yes, sir. 56-2. Don't come in the live chat. Hey now. Plant looked nervous. Hell no, he didn't, J. Ocho. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. Look, I've been around Caleb Plant when he wasn't fighting, and he looked the same way. That's dangerous that you would perceive him as looking nervous when that dude, that's the way he look in general. That's just his facial expression in general. Sir Ken on deck. World Combat Sports, salute. Salute to the wrenches and salute to the chest. Smash the light. Man, I got to give you that shine there, Sir Ken. You know what I'm saying? Got to give you that shine, bro. Appreciate you pulling up. I'm not paying $80 for this fight. Well, listen, as a fan, it comes down to, what you plan on spending for Christmas, Thanksgiving. I mean, it's a lot of money that's going to be shelled out right here at this time of the year. It's a lot of money, dog. I don't know what y'all got going on, but $80. Ooh. I think we paying for the belts, dog. We paying our sanctioning fees as fans. This is an $80 sanctioning fee from the fans. The undercard is okay. You know what I'm saying? The undercard is okay. It's not super heavy. The main event is basically the climax of the entire card. Like you saying to yourself, it's supposed to be. Not really. Like you can have some, co-main event or um the fight before the co-main event. That shit can be heavy too. But this is just like, I know we got Elvis Rodriguez coming back. We know we got Ray Vargas who's returning from a lengthy hiatus, 34-0. I know all that. But you paying $80, that shit crazy. That's all about, that comes along with the support of boxing, bro. That goes along with the support of boxing for real. The weigh-in was fire. Can't wait for tomorrow night. I agree, man. 8-1-0 checking in. Anthony the Dog Darrell back in the house. Man, one thing I can say about Anthony Darrell, he can fight, dog. Them are not, he's not the best individual in person, but look, I don't care because he's not a Chris Colbert. Like Anthony Darrell, me and him got similar demeanors. Like I'm not standoffish or stuff like that, but I'm just low key. I stay to myself and I talk to the ones I know, this, that, and the other. Darrell, he'll say what's up to you, but he won't say too much more. He'll keep it moving. I ain't mad at him for that, but he can box. Darrell can box, man. I got to give him his props. John Page on deck, man. That man ain't look nervous. People fishing for real, man. They fishing with fresh bait, ain't they? Jay Ocho know he wrong for that, dog. He know damn well Caleb Plant wasn't nervous. That dude was confident as hell. Brown on Brown. I mean, Brown on boxing. Salute on deck. Salute WCS. Salute to you, man. Mitt say the fuck Mike Tyson doing there? All on Canelo nuts. Man, listen, bro. I don't know why. I don't know. Boxing, once again, is one of those finicky sports where people support who the fuck they want to support. And most of the time, the villains like Mike Tyson, they get the love. Also, we have to consider what era that shit was in. It's a whole different era. This is a sensitive era in boxing. I'm not saying in combat sports, in boxing. Because from what Mike Tyson did back then, the way how can you recover from that shit, dog? And they're still up here blaming certain fighters for something they said. Check this out. Feel me. They're not liking fighters for something they said in this day and time. Not something they did. It's something they said. Oh, we don't like what he said. We don't like his demeanor. He talked too much. You have fighters out here talking too much and people not liking them. What Mike Tyson was doing back then was fighting in press conferences, biting off an individual's a part of his physical anatomy. Ears are made of cartilage. Mike say, shit, I'm going to see how they taste. He violated another Hall of Famer. Not only that, he went to jail, prison, whatever, accused of rape, public record, doing drugs. Mike Tyson gets treated like a god, man, when he's in person. I seen it. The way people look at Mike, they basically glorify this man for the way he used to fight, how he fought. That's what they glorified him for. They don't remember Mike Tyson was in one of the biggest fights, and Buster Douglas had so much going against him, losing his mother and all that other shit. The odds was sick. And Mike goes in there and gets stopped because they was telling him, oh, you about to fight a bum. He ain't shit. You don't have to really train hard for Buster Douglas. Don't worry about him. And Buster went in there and grabbed the beehive and stung the shit out of Mike. Pop, 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 pop. Mike didn't know what the fuck to do up there, crawling around on all fours looking for his mouthpiece. People glorify Mike from a different era, bro. They'll sit up here and talk shit about Evander Holyfield getting knocked out by Vito Belfort. But they won't talk about his accolades as a fighter because his mentality and attitude wasn't the same as Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, the shit he be saying, the homophobic shit he be saying about violating other men on his podcast, niggas think that's cool. Like, come on, man. Just because you smoking on your podcast and then you got grown ass men with families and kids, and you be looking them men in the face, speaking as if you're gonna violate their ass, man. That's that's a motherfucker that just has some shit that's been scrambled for a long fucking time and some pieces are missing. He'll never find those motherfucking pieces. That's Mike Tyson, bro. Bruce goes on deck. Salute my brother at World Combat Sports. Salute, OG. How you feeling, man? Mike was running around Canelo tail. Yeah, man, look, I don't know why these brothers. Canelo is Canelo, bro. He hasn't, in my opinion, really built himself up to the stature of a Mike Tyson. Hands down, period. Like, we're talking about everything collectively when we talk about Mike Tyson. Canelo's not on that level. But Mike Tyson come up there dipping his head like we in Japan. Hi, Ohio gozaimasu. Like, what the fuck are you doing, son? Well, you can show respect by reaching your hand out there, shaking Canelo's hand. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the honor. It's an honor, to be here for history. Unification of the super middleweight division. First time ever. You feel me? Like, what you bowing your head for? You didn't bow your head to Floyd Mayweather when y'all was all on the same stage. Rodriguez versus Romero might be a good fight. I think so, man. Like, it was at one point in time, I was like, Rodriguez is going to do big things in boxing, but I have that same, like, it's that loose thread that I had, about Edgar Berlanga. It's that loose thread, like, they're very comfortable at fighting a certain way. The right style will negate that. And that's what happened. He went in there with a guy who can box, knew how to keep his distance, touched up Rodriguez real good, had him uncomfortable, and ended up having his first loss. That's the same feeling I have about Edgar Berlanga until he improved. Edgar Berlanga can be beat, but right now he's shown he can weather the storm. But check this out. I see only certain fighters, maybe Hispanic, Mexican, whatever, Latino, what have you. When they hit the canvas, they are praised for coming up out of the fire, brushing themselves off and continue to fight. But as boxing media, we speak on hit and not get hit. That's supposed to be the science of boxing. But you see these fighters getting off the deck, fighting on, facing adversity, which some people look at, they could have prevented themselves from being placed in that situation. Bruce goes, say, 42-1. Man, they brought Mike Tyson up to the stage. That's all hype to me. That is, it's super hype, but why? Like Mike Tyson, man, he violates so many freaking people, for real. Like, that man has a dark side to him that will never have any type of positive light shining on it at all. It's just dark spots. It's dark areas in Mike's life. Like, to hear him talk on his podcast and verbally demasculize grown ass man on there, talking about what he'd do to him and shit like that. Man, this ain't a motherfucking movie, dog. Like, what am I watching? And then they invite Mike, like, it's cool. They hear Mike on here making threats. We talk about the LGBT and all that shit. People get blocked off Facebook and IG for talking this shit. What about Mike? Mike get his podcast, and this man just talk crazy all the time. But yeah, he up there bowing his head to Canelo, people cheering him on. Nigga, who trying to be friends with Mike? Hey man, hey, you want to go smoke with me? Hell no, I don't want to smoke. nigga, because I'm gonna have to goddamn lay some hot shit in you. You try to come over with, hey man, I talked to my podcast. I just want to show you it's not that bad, man. It's not that bad. Just let us cuddle together. Mike, I know you did a lot of shit back in your heyday. You's a bad man. But I've never looking at your box rate, I had never seen you defeat a bullet. Period. I don't see one bullet on that motherfucker. It don't matter the grain. It don't matter the caliber. I haven't seen one because I'm not fighting you head up. We're not gonna get a clean one. We're not gonna get a fair one. None of that shit. Canelo a better fighter than Mike Tyson though. Tyson definitely on his butt's heavy though, too heavy. Canelo a better boxer. Canelo was a better boxer than Mitch. He ain't a better fighter. He wasn't a better fighter than Mike now. Put Canelo in there with a tough street motherfucker like Mitch Green, who Mike Tyson swole his fucking eye. Mitch Green, people may not show him love, but he was a tough street dude. Canelo is a better boxer than Tyson. That is fact. Because Mike Tyson gave you everything you look for, squared up, faced his opponent, and came in with the windshield wiper, side to side, head movement. And if you can withstand it, you can withstand it. All you had to do is know how to box Mike and don't be scared of him. But when he entered the front door, squared up, shoulder to shoulder, right there in front of you, you had that big target in front of you. The only thing about it, that target hits back. And Mike Tyson used to motherfucking hit your ass back. His fighting posture was wrong. You know what I'm saying? They built him up to be that wrecking ball. That motherfucker just came and started kicking down motherfucking doors and shit. He didn't make his frame be any type of give you limited frame to hit as a boxer. He gave you his entire body, shoulder to shoulder, right there. He gave you everything he wanted right there in front of you to hit. The only thing about it, you had to be fully aware that he was going to return some power that was God gifted. You know what I'm saying, to certain opponents. And truth be told, Mike Tyson lost to some big names. People just glorify him for who he was when he was knocking out those people. When how young he became heavyweight champion. That's how people glorify Mike Tyson. What he was able to do as a teenager. How destructive he fucking was. I think Tyson has an all access pass in Vegas. Hell yeah, he does, Bruce. Listen, dude, my treatment versus Mike treatment when I'm in Vegas, it's not even close. Look, I remember I was there with no credentials, dog. Somehow I made it down to where the VIP comes in to take their seats on the ground floor. I see Mike walk in with his girl. He had a wine color suit on. No security, dog. Mike just walks in. And I said, "What's up, Mike?" He just looks at me, get a head nod, make that column right, and goes into the damn room. I didn't see nobody check Mike. I didn't see nobody check his ID. I didn't see the people at the screening. He had to be screened to see if he didn't have no weapons. I didn't see none of that shit, dog. I didn't see none of it. Mike just walked in that motherfucker, came in through the damn metal detectors, made that column right, and walked in the back. But anyway, tomorrow night, man, it is a solid main event. I mean, people don't talked about this fight more than I thought. Why? Because of Canelo. See, they talk about it and add Caleb Plant in there, but they put him in there as like, you know, can he? Can he? Can he? You know what I'm saying? They don't put him in the equation like most of the people that you hear talk is that this is what we know Canelo's going to do. But Caleb can, and something he can't. But overall, I don't know if it's possible. People don't sit up here and just give him his just due as being that boxer. Caleb Plant can box, bro. His career ain't all that. For real, Caleb Plant's career is just the IBF title. He the one said he was going to unify the super middleweight division. So this is his night. This is his night, man. He needs to make that shit happen. He needs to make that shit happen. I want to get y'all input on Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz. I know the value of conversation is much different tone when we speak of Devin Haney and JoJo Diaz, because why? Obviously, you know, they're still building up their status, man. You know, Devin Haney's still building up his status in the lightweight division. He's still a top tier name. And you know, with my criticism of his resume in the past, he still has work to do on that resume. But we have found out that there are plenty of people out here that don't want to fight Devin Haney. We found out. At one point in time, I remember we was talking about the lightweight division. That shit was on point. Like the lightweight division was fire. But names like Ryan Garcia, who always said that was a goofball. You know what I'm saying? The only difference between him and Big Bird at Sesame Street is that one of them have on a costume, period. That's all. Same character. You know what I'm saying? They love talking. Ernie. I mean, damn. This dude is a fucking the Duck Masters top pound for pound Ryan Garcia. Javier Fortuna. I seen Javier Fortuna quit with my own eyes in person. And then he ducked Devin Haney. Then whoever else. You know what I'm saying? Winning their loss against JoJo Diaz. What's another big name? Javante, we have to leave him out because Javante is pretty much doing what Javante does. And he's building a foundation just like Mike Tyson did. They don't have the best out of the ring rep, but inside the motherfucking ropes. Oh my God. They bring in TNT. They bring in all types of weapons. Javante is pretty much giving you a show on what you want to see. And he's not making it look easy. Like, he's not going in there with one quarter hitters and knocking motherfuckers out. He's breaking them down, giving you a show, and then getting the knockout. Jump off the top rope, do a backflip, and land that motherfucker, man. That's showmanship right there. So much to the point where they say, you know what? For Rolly Romero and Javante, we're gonna go to Vegas. I was like, oh my God, man. Damn. I was looking for him to come back down to Mercedes-Benz, dog. Seriously. We have affordable living down this motherfucker when you come to a fight. I know Florida's all about the money. He want people to flock to his backyard. He want to change levels and have, you know, Tank be a global superstar. I get the move, but I wasn't expecting it against Rolly though. Like, you could have had Rolly down here in Black Hollywood, dog. You could have had Rolly Romero down here in Black Hollywood. Let Javante knock his ass out down here in the ATL, the dirty, at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That shit would have been absolutely fireworks down this bitch, man. Are we overhyping Plant where Canelo destroys him easy? I don't think Canelo, I assume this, Bruce. I assume that he ain't going to get destroyed just easy like that. I don't see Caleb Plant being that guy, man. You know what I'm saying? I know he's been in some fights where people question, is he the top elite? Well, guess what? Sometimes we look at individuals compete and we just judge them off their competition. And then when they step in with the fighter like Canelo Alvarez, guess what? They change levels. They do something we ain't seen before. That's what I'm thinking Caleb Plant will do. He's gonna level up, man. Will it be easier than Billy Ho? No, it's not gonna be easier than Billy Ho, for real. It's not gonna be easier than Billy Ho, for real, no doubt. I'm assuming Lopez is the best of them all to me until proven wrong. Hey, Teofimo Lopez has to get back in the ring, man. He's passed away um quality time in his boxing career just for a fucking mandatory. 3 relocations. 3, y'all. Uno, dos, tres, amigo. 3. 3 times. Not only that, it was so much talked about Triller and his purse bid, the 6.1, and all the money he was making, only for him to have them resign, default, and now he's gonna fight on the zone. That is just crazy. So now he has to go over there and do promo with the zone and all this other shit. Can you imagine how his opponent, George Kambosos, feel? George, look, to be honest, not on no racial shit, none of that shit. But George is probably out there knocking out motherfucking kangaroos in Australia. George Kambosos is out there fighting kangaroos, dog. Little Joey's. He out there fighting little Joey's, dog. Because Teofimo got this man struggling. Like, damn, I can't even take another fight because I'm tied in with Tio. Man, he has to come in here and he has to goddamn perform well, period. Period, man. Lopez has to go in here and with all this time out, he has to come back in this motherfucker and show the fuck out, dog. J.A. Dixon on deck. Man, we building. The building went crazy. When did that backflip Floyd should make ATL Tank's fight home? It would be good, man, if somebody would let him know that. But look, I'm pretty sure Floyd had fun down here, man. We the land of the strip clubs down here. I was born and raised off them joints. So Floyd has fun down here in the ATL, but also he lives in Vegas. So when you're the mayor of Vegas and you can just about get what you want in Vegas, of course he's going to bring Tank over there to make that Vegas money. Floyd is bringing Tank over there to make that Vegas money. Gervonta makes the money. Floyd makes money. We know Floyd, every move he make has to be monetarily benefiting him, then Tank. In that order. Him, then Tank. All those 135 pounders need to get back in the ring. The division's all but forgotten. Well, you have Devin Haney, who stepped in there with JoJo Diaz. So it's bringing a little spark to the 35-pound division. But from what Teofimo was able to do with Vasily Lomachenko, Richard Comey, Yoshi Nakatani, I believe that was at an all-time high with people talking about it. What Gervonta Davis was able to do with Yurkis Gamboa, and then went up there to Mario Barrios. Still the praise, right? The praise that Gervonta get is still as if he's a 35er. They still look at him being in the lightweight division. I like how he's able to maintain that position, even though he's fighting up, and people really don't give him, that much credit for fighting at 140 pounds and a bigger fighter. But they still see him at 135 as a lightweight. They just don't put him in the same conversation as Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia when his name was relevant. You know what I'm saying? Vasily Lomachenko and all those people. Because those are actual fighters who are competing in that division. You know what I'm saying? Consistently. But Tio, like you said, I agree, Bruce. Like it's big hype with Lopez, but we haven't seen him in the ring for a long time. So we need to get that fire burning. We need to return back to it. I won't believe that Tio fight will happen on 27 until I see it. I feel like Bob is behind this. You know when Bob said that let's just spin the reel backwards a little bit. There Jay, when it came down to Tio winning the purse bid. The reason that you know Tio's purse bid was won by Triller was because Top Rank wasn't even providing that man with enough money, right? So we all know Bob been in the game. He's been back there in the Don King era. Bob Aaron has seen some grimy, dirty, criminal, backhanded, slit your throat type shit in boxing. This new era don't know that. So when Tio wanted to go to a purse bid, Bob always had in the back of his mind that he was going to get that revenge. He might have did it with business or by force. Either way, he was going to get it. And sure enough, Triller, they folded. Triller folded. And then you heard that Bob Aaron reconstructed Teofimo's contract. Where did that come from? How the fuck all of a sudden T.O.'s the enemy, and then you reconstruct his contract for his mandatory money, what he's going to get, period. How does that work? Was it the Lopez's or was it Bob? And then it was so much talk about, yeah, he's going to fight Devin Haney. It was, Teofimo fighting Devin Haney, Teofimo, Devin Haney. And then Bob started talking about, no, it's going to be Vasily Lomachenko. Why? Because he wants to get that money back. And, truth be told, I guess Bob was trying to slide that subliminal shit to get that vengeance back on Tio. To say, yeah, I want to put you back in there with Lomachenko because I know that's in-house fight. That's more money. And I truly want to see, can you beat this man twice? That's all. That's how Bob is. That's how Bob mind works, though. He's a beast. Bob is a triple OG in the game, man. Okay, we're back, people. I don't know what's going on, but we back. But yeah, that's what I think about Bob Arum, man. He a triple G in the game. He been here since the Don King era, where that shit was cutthroat, man, with a fresh blade, with a fresh one. You know what I'm saying? They used to cut motherfuckers that didn't know they was cut until the air hit it. I wouldn't. Let me see. Cambosis get hurt. Say a prayer for George. Wait, I thought the next Tank fight was in L.A. Look, you're right. You're right. It is in L.A. You're right. But still, he took it to the West Coast. But I stand corrected. You're right. I'm just cross threading the fight that we just finished with Caleb Plant and freaking Canelo Alvarez. But you're right, man. That means you're paying attention there, Jade. You're right. It is in LA, but he still took it away from the East Coast and took it to the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? He still took it to the West Coast. Period. But to answer your input, it is. It's in LA at the Staples Center. Facts, people forget Tank only fought at 135. One time, it's funny how he's judged. You know, Tank is doing things that certain fighters wouldn't even think about. But you know, they don't really mention it because he's winning. You know what I'm saying? When he started to have trouble, in which most of these fights, they always say Tank had trouble, didn't they? Like with the Leo Santa Cruz fight. They felt the amount of punches he throw in the fight is gonna be trouble for Tank Davis. What happened? He went in there, he had his little moment. He was landing some good solid shots on Tank, using his jab well, staying active, and Tank was just like pulling that shit from him. He said, come on, give it to me, give it to me. And then he said, for me to take. And he took his consciousness. That's Tank's entertainment value right there. That's his entertainment value. They'll sit up here and say he went into the 12th round with Yorkis Gamboa. But then, you know, they criticize Tank, right? But then you hear other people that'll talk about Gamboa and say how good of a chin he has. So which one is it? Are you going to give Tank his credit for getting a stoppage in the 12th round? Just stand on the hunt? Are you going to credit, Yorkis Gamboa for having a chin and taking that punishment Tank was given and last until the 12th round? Either way it goes, you can't sit up here and criticize Tank Davis for stopping him in the 12th when you're saying the man has a good chin. And then the Aztec Warrior, Mario Barrios. What's not to like about Mario? You know what I'm saying? What's not to like about him? I thought he was taking a little bit too much. You know, he was getting punched and touched a little bit against Ryan Carl in San Antonio, right? I'll say, he needs some defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really, and then even back then, I can talk about it now. Even back then, they was talking about him potentially fighting Tank. The news hadn't been broke yet. He was on Tank's undercard for a reason. So then they come up that he's facing Tank. He's a much taller fighter. People's like, oh man, Tank. You know, he's so small, man. Tank's so tall. What did Rolly say? Oh, look at that. He's a midget. He got them little bitty arms. My dick bigger than that, longer than that. That's Rolly shit. But then look how Tank fought him. Look how Tank fought Mario Barrios. Look how Barrios responded. Barrios said, come on, man. This is the perfect example how Mario Barrios is willing to go to the depths. That's what Caleb Plant is going to have to do tomorrow night. He's going to have to go to the depths. Look how Mario Barrios brought the action and was all about the war. He said, this what I'm used to. This is what my spirit's at right now. I'm part of the Aztec Warrior, and I'm not scared. He might have, felt the power of Tank. And combined with his spiritual strength, his adrenaline, he closed it down a little bit more. He said, I'm gonna get closer. I'm gonna fight on the inside. I know Tank got power. Fuck it. I think I have power too. Caleb Plant is gonna have to give a performance like Mario did against Tank. And everybody knows Tank was the heavier puncher in that fight. And he can box his ass off. Mario's gonna have to give account of himself. I mean, not Mario, Caleb. He's gonna have to take a risk like Barrios did against Tank. He has to, bro. He has to make it entertaining. I don't know if it's possible for Plant to go the entire first half of the fight without any adversity. Like, perfect example. I seriously doubt we can have a Teofimo Lomachenko type fight where Teofimo's boxing facility Lomachenko, and he really wasn't even getting touched up to the back half of the fight. I don't see that happening with Caleb Plant. I don't see Canelo Alvarez being that loose and that giving in such a big fight where he can become the first undisputed super middleweight champion now. Same for Caleb, but I'm just saying for Canelo. The Wall Street Canelo has with the fans is just amazing. Okay, I just thought they moved after the rolling incident. My bad. No, it's all good, man. Look, I'm not gonna get on here and say everything I say is absolutely right. That's nobody in life. But appreciate you paying attention and making a correction. That's what it's about. Facts. He Barrios on the undercard just like Pitbull Cruz. Absolutely. I seen Isaac Cruz just destroy my boy. I like Diego Magnolino. But the beating that Cruz gave Magnolino pretty much stood his ass up in the corner. Isaac Cruz landing so many power shots. It was just like, oh shit. Like the people was like, God damn, it was almost like a horror show. Like somebody was being tortured in front of you, but you didn't see no blood yet. It's just like how, you see somebody get hit with a hammer the first time. They got hit with the hammer, but you don't see the blood yet. Isaac Cruz was laying some motherfucking power shots on Diego. I was like, shit, ref. This man might be sleep standing up. And then finally he fell down. I was like, wow. He stops Magnolino in one? Damn. But once again, that's a good fight. I like Isaac Cruz being the replacement. I told you, I would rather see Isaac Cruz than Rolly Romero. I'm glad Isaac Cruz is getting this moment. Let's see how much of a pit bull you are against a motherfucking monster. Let's see. I don't think Isaac Cruz is ready for a fighter like Gervonta. I believe he's going to get stopped. His style, just like Mike Tyson, come forward. He has an incredible gas tank, but he goes to the well too many times like your boy, Edgar Berlanga. They set up their power shots, and you know it's coming. There's no masking it or nothing. They set up their power shots, you know it's about to come. Isaac Cruz is about to go in here, and it's going to be interesting a little bit early because, Tank like playing with his food sometime. So he's going to be interesting. He's going to allow Isaac Cruz to freaking, get off a little bit. He's going to make a miss and show how quick he is. And of course, Cruz is going to turn the corner and keep on stalking him, walking him down, trying to. But once he's going to try to land some motherfucking power shots where they go to the body of the head. Isaac Cruz is very predictable, man. But when he steps in there with Tank, man, he's going to find out this guy's quicker than he looks on TV. And then the way he sets up his power shots, whether it's to the head, the body, whether he gives you that uppercut, it doesn't matter which side, left uppercut, right uppercut. It don't fucking matter. Cruz is getting knocked out because his style is tailor-made for Tank Davis to run the fuck over. It's a good style. It's good to see them putting this fight together. I'm pretty sure Isaac Cruz was happy and he was sad at the same time when he got the call. Because he in there with a dangerous motherfucking fighter in Tank Davis. And his style is all right, but sometimes when you right, you definitely wrong. Ain't what he said on Hustle and Flow? When I'm right, I'm wrong, but when I'm wrong, I'm right. When Isaac Cruz step in there, he's right for taking the fight, but his style is all wrong for Gervonta Davis on this night. Real talk. Barrios should have earned a lot of respect after his performance against Tank. Show heart and grit. He did. He earned respect just for a little bit. Like when you're not out here promoting yourself and you're a fan amongst the Mexican boxing fans, even though there's a lot of Mexican fighters in the sport, there's too many for them to be Canelo. Like you really have to do something special for you to get that Canelo love. You know what I'm saying? You get that Canelo treatment, that A1 RSVP special hand and foot treatment. You have to do something special. You just can't come in there with a costume saying I'm representing the Aztec warriors. I'm tough, I'm grimy, I got heart, I'm gonna fight for my people. They heard that before. They seen Mexican fighters walk to the ring with their flag, their colors draped around. They seen that. But in order for you to receive Canelo Alvarez status, you have to do something very special. Very, very special. Like Isaac Cruz, for instance. He needs to go in here. He beats Tank. Isaac Cruz will be in the same boat as Andy Ruiz did when he beat Joshua. He won't even know what to do with all the money that's gonna come his way. Because it's gonna be a rematch, but he wouldn't know what to do. He'll be like, oh my God, mama, mucho dinero, señorita. Well, his mama might be married. Senora. Oh my God. He won't know what to do with all that money. De mucho, mi amor. He won't know what to do, but at least he's getting the opportunity to grace the stage with him. He's getting put to sleep, though. Let's listen to some of this, the presser that went down earlier. And let's talk about, some of the questions that Devin Haney was asked during this presser, vice what Jojo Diaz was asked.
I'm sure you assumed yourself it may or may not happen. What was going through your mind? Did you ever think it may not happen?
Of course, I mean, I thought, maybe it may not happen, maybe it will happen. We were still looking at other guys, just in case that fight didn't happen. But Eddie was confident that it would happen, so we got the job done. It happened, and looking forward to it now.
What were the factors behind this fight taking a bit longer to get it over the line?
Money. That was mainly money.
So he asked him what was it taking so long? What was the issue? Why was delay in making this fight happen with JoJo signing the contract? And it was all about the money. Boxing is a money driven sport.
I don't know too much about, but I just know that the numbers wise.
We've seen the back and forth over social media between yourself and JoJo whilst the negotiations were ongoing. Has that built this fight up a little bit more for you? Is it made a little bit of bad blood almost?
I mean, it's just talk at the end of the day. I know JoJo, all he want to do is talk. He want to, JoJo, he's the type of person, he talk on the internet, and he DM me to go to bed to go live with me. So I know that he just wants some clout, that's all.
Then in this fight with JoJo, do you see this as the toughest test of your career so far? Is he tougher than Jorge Linares?
On paper, it's the toughest test, because he's young, he's hungry, he's coming at the against Fortuna, so he's gonna come with it. He's gonna bring his all, and I'm happy.
So he was asked. Devin Haney was asked, was JoJo going to be the toughest fight of his career? And Haney responded, on paper, because Jorge Linares, I mean, Jojo Diaz isn't no Jorge Linares. Let's get that straight. Not even anywhere close in fighting styles. All right. So on paper, Haney answered that correctly. Devin answered that shit correctly. On paper, he's better because we all know all of Jorge Linares' losses up to that point of facing Devin Haney was all stoppages. Though he went the distance with Devin, his losses was all stoppages, all Cinco de Mayo. So I believe that was answered absolutely 100% correct. That on paper, JoJo coming off a win of Javier Fortuna, on paper, he's the better opponent.
That I finally can get a fighter that's, in their prime, young, hungry, and at the top. So, excited.
So stylistically, Devin, how do you expect the pair of you to match up when you're in the ring? What are you expecting Jojo to bring into this fight that you may not have come up against previously?
I can't. He's not gonna bring nothing to the table that I haven't. Excuse me. He's not gonna bring nothing to the table that I've never seen before. He doesn't do nothing out of the ordinary. I know that he's gonna come in there. He's gonna come and fight. He's coming to win. He's gonna try to put the pressure on, try to rough me up. But we'll see how that works for him.
Because Tio fights a week before you as well, do you feel like you want to make a bit of a statement on the back of that? Because I know you've had your altercation at the Garcia Martin fight and just talk about that fight taking place next year.
I mean, I'm not really worried about TFBMO and his fight. Not a lot of people really focused on his fight. It's not because just because they've been pushed back so long and prolonged. Now everybody's just like kind of tired of it. So it is what it is. The fight that the world is going to want to see is me and JoJo.
We saw TFBMO yesterday.
So here we go. Devin Haney has a fight. He's defending this title. I'm pretty sure this is not U.S. media. And therefore, the questions they just keep asking the WBC champion is off topic from the fight that he has coming up. They asked one question about Teofimo Lopez. Then, somebody asked one of the crazy questions about what does Jojo Diaz, bring to the table. Come on, they're fighting, away. It's not right on deck. Why would he sit up here and talk about something that JoJo is bringing to the table? That's one thing he doesn't do. He pretty much don't give away any type of responses or reactions like that. He just keep everything, he go in there and train, he prepare for the fight, and then he make it happen. But then this reporter goes on to the next question. They're trying to make it a T.O. Devin Haney situation Fight Hub was doing. And I'm not saying it's disrespectful to JoJo Diaz, but it is showing him a lack of courtesy, being he is a last minute replacement, and they're not even giving this man his due respect. You know what I'm saying? They're not providing him his label of respect for what he's done in the sport. We're talking about a cat who been in there with the Gary Russell Jr. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, JoJo was highly. We're not talking about what he fought through against Tevin Farmer. I mean, JoJo should get more respect than them asking about Teofimo Lopez, a fight that's not even signed, a fight that may become saturated just like Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence conversation.
WBC to put a petition out for you to sign, so then you two can face off next year. And his dad said you haven't signed it yet. Can you just clarify that?
I don't even know what he's talking about.
So what he's talking about was the meeting at the Zone. When they had a meeting, they had they crossed paths, and then the conversation went back and forth, verbal sparring, and then the situation say, "What about the contract?" And then he say, "What about the meeting with Bob? What about the meeting with Bob?" And then it pretty much left with that. And Bob Arum came out and made mention that he had set arrangement, but nobody showed up from over there. Bill didn't show up. Nobody from his team showed up. So now you're hearing Eddie Hearns come out and say he never received any type of phone call, any type of arrangement to go to a meeting for Devin Haney, Teofimo, type of conversation, table talks as they call it. I mean, it was never nothing. So at first, people was like, "Oh man, it was a meeting." Team Haney didn't show up, and then it's coming out now that Eddie Hearns is saying basically he didn't receive any phone call from no barbarian about no damn meeting.
Do you expect the pair of you to face off next year?
I hope so, yeah. Inshallah, we get to fight next year. I want to make the fight happen. I've been calling for it for a while, so you guys keep asking me over and over and over. I want to make the fight happen. It's obvious. I've been saying it for a while now. All the belts. It's the biggest fight in the lightweight division, so why not?
Devin, what did you take away from your altercation ringside from that Garcia Martin fight when you heard you were talking? Again, speaking to Tio yesterday, he said he spoke over you and he said that showed kind of a level of confidence you had in comparison to him.
And that's what he got from me. That's what I got from me. I'm happy that we came to an agreement, and hopefully he follows through on his side and make the fight happen. We can talk about both of us fighting, but at the end of the day, when we get a ring, is when it all matters. Talking don't win fights.
Just 2 fights, couldn't you get your thoughts on Lopez Cambostas? What do you make of Tio's fight there?
Don't even care.
And then you also.
I hope y'all fighters be as patient with me if I ask you some off-topic questions, because Devin was being stupid patient with this guy who had absolutely no concern about his fight coming up with Jojo Diaz, and he seized the opportunity to just ask him off-topic questions about a fight that's not even signed yet. And when you're in a media scrum like that, that can happen. Like, it's some people there that don't fucking care. Like, just for perfect example, when we was in Atlanta and we was in a media scrum with Tank Davis, and you have individuals in there that's not even true boxing fans. It's like not even true media, period. And they was up there asking about hip hop artists that Tank knows that they seen on the news. They didn't fucking care.
Cruz, again, your thoughts?
I think that's easy fight to take. Cruz, I don't really know too much about him. I know that he's a dog, that he got, that he's going to come to fight, but I just think Tank's a total different level than him.
Follow on, Devin. Canelo Clan this weekend. Undisputed, your thoughts?
I love Caleb. That's my boy. I've been knowing Caleb for a long time, so I'm rooting for Caleb. I want to bring it home, but it's a tough task. We'll see what happens.
Devin, thank you.
Devin, you talked about Pitbull and Gervonta. Gervonta did this fight. What did you think about the Rolling situation and why he's
Once again, give it up to Devin Haney for having patience, man. I don't know where the patience came from. I don't know if it was the amount of lenses that was in front of him. Tell you this, Terrence Crawford would have shut this shit down. I'm just being honest. Like, give it up for Devin with his interview. Like, someone's may have been coaching him on how to conduct the interview, even when the questions aren't directly related to his fight. Now they asking him about Gervonta and Isaac Cruz. Who cares about Gervonta Isaac Cruz, which is a last-minute replacement like his fight? But his fight, Devin and Jojo Diaz, is coming up sooner than Gervonta and Isaac Cruz. But these people just, man, they have their slingshots pulled back and they're just firing off, man.
What I think about his
just the situation?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I can't really speak on it. I don't really know too much about it. None of us really know too much about it. There's no facts behind it, so I can't, bash him or say anything. And I would never kick somebody while they're down. So
Devin Haney just say he's not going to kick Rolly while he's down. He has all these multiple sex allegations against him, allegedly, and they're asking Devin Haney about this situation. You know what I'm saying? They're asking him about a situation that he hasn't even been to court for yet.
At the end of the day, I hope that he comes out on top of it, and I hope that it's it's not true because I never want to see that happen with nobody. I got sisters, I got a mom, I got females in my family that are cared about a lot. So I would never want to see that. I would never wish that on anybody, him or the females that are accusing him of it. So I hope that he comes out on top.
So yesterday, Victor Conte said that JoJo have yet to enroll in the Nevada drug test.
Yeah, that is 100% true. I've been trying to push the Nevada testing on them. They haven't seemed to enroll yet, and hopefully, they enroll soon. It may put this fight in jeopardy if he doesn't enroll in Nevada.
See, that's 50-50. When it comes down to JoJo not enrolling in VADA, it's not something that's mandatory. Like if JoJo doesn't enroll in VADA, I think Team Haney is going to take the fight anyway because it's money. He's going to make some more millions, and they all about the money. I don't think it's going to be a huge determining factor to dissuade him from stepping in there with JoJo Diaz, because at the end of the day, skill, whether he's on juice or not, Devin Haney has enough skills to go in there and defeat JoJo, period.
JoJo Diaz has been calling you out, Ryan Garcia out, all the top lightweights out. He's finally got one in you for this WBC title here. Are you expecting the best JoJo Diaz? And after that Jorge Linares fight, he was your toughest test today, but it seems like you're progressing nicely now. You're getting the big names that you need in this division, but again, are you expecting the best JoJo Diaz?
Of course, I'm definitely expecting the best JoJo Diaz. This is the best fighter on paper. It's a huge fight for me. It's a huge fight for boxing. This is one of the fights that I've been calling for. It's not the Ryan Garcia, it's not Tank Davis, it's not Teofimo, but it's the next step there, and I'm happy that the fight is finally made. I think that it has been we've been getting great feedback from the media, the fans, and I think a lot of people love this fight, and I love the fight for me as well.
See, because obviously JoJo Diaz is on that fringe level of lightweights. All this media right here that's facing you right now, all the fans, the boxing fans, they want to see you, Teofimo Lopez, the Garcias, the Javante Davises and stuff like that in 2022. What do you have to do on your part? I know the altercation in Fresno with Teo, but again,
once again, we got this fool sitting up here, divisional compeers into the conversation. Have one that you about to step in the ring with. Don't care. This is what we have to go through as media. We have to listen to some of these guys who don't show up on a regularity here in the U.S. to these fight cards like that. They don't. They're part of a certain organization, and they don't care. They ask questions for views. They have to basically spice up the content and the questions they ask. Over here in the U.S., if that was me asking off-topic conversation, it's potentially to anybody. It potentially may get shot down, and then I don't want them in the media scrum talking about the fight. But see, with these guys, they don't give a fuck what you think, because the person that's ahead of them, they want them to ask those questions. So they can't say, hey, I want so-and-so right here to not ask questions or go to these fights anymore. They're going to look and they're going to get a name and they're going to, well, we can't do anything about that. They were so-and-so. That's how that shit works. But it was me, and I'm sitting up here asking those questions. I'm part of the U.S. media. Then it would be a whole different story, man. They'd be like, man, he's not really, concerned about the fighters, the U.S. fighters. I'm saying he's pretty much asking about every other, not U.S. fighters, but he's not concerned about the fight at hand. He just want to talk about drama TV. He want to ask controversial questions for his, for this, that, and the other. I mean, they'll say you just here trying to soak in all the attention.
As a fighter, what do you have to do on your part to get this fight over the line?
I just gotta keep winning at the end of the day. This fight happens because I keep winning. He keeps winning, and that's how the fight played out, and that's how all the rest of the fights in the lightweight division is gonna play out. Eventually, we're all gonna meet up one day. Of course, I want it sooner than later, but eventually, we're all gonna end up fighting in the end.
I know you've answered this. To just reiterate it, Teofimo Lopez Sr. said about he got in touch with Maurizio Sulaiman, and Sulaiman said that he's going to write a petition, send it to you and your dad. I don't know if you've got it yet, but if that petition doesn't cross your door, land on your desk or whatever, Will you sign that and fight Teofimo next year?
What petition? What
It's
petition?
important to him to make you mandatory. Make you mandatory for Teofimo.
You don't even need to make me mandatory. That's a fight that I don't need to be mandatory for the fight to happen. This is a fight that me and my promoter want, my dad want. We all want this fight. So to send a petition is retarded.
And he's absolutely right. Devin Haney says the Senate petition is absolutely retarded. He's a WBC super champion, right? So why in the hell anyone has to send a petition just because Mauricio Suleiman created a belt that hasn't fully damn grown in boxing as a whole? You know, the presence is very limited. There's only been 4 people to get it: Canelo, Vasily Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, and Juan Estrada. So Devin Haney was absolutely correct in saying, man, what the fuck you talking about? Like a petition? I don't need a petition to be his mandatory. No, let's just make the fight. He has this so-called franchise belt, and then I have the WBC Super. The WBC Super hasn't entirely phased itself out. I mean, come on, man. The WBC belt still has relevance, prestige. But like I said before, you have to recognize Teofimo's franchise belt because Mauricio and his people voted that when they implemented this belt, inserted it into the sport of boxing, it would have superiority over what's tradition to evolution. Mauricio Suleiman is trying to change the damn structure of these belts. And he has did that with the franchise belt having superiority or superseding the status of the WBC Super. That's all it is. But when it comes down to it, Devin Haney is absolutely right. It's retarded to think that a petition needs to go out for me to be mandatory. Who else should be mandatory for Teofimo Lopez? I should, because I have the WBC title.
It's not like they ever sent me an offer and I declined the offer or nothing like that. So why would you try to petition? It's just, you can't believe these lies that come out of his mouth. He talks in circles. It's unbelievable. You want to do a petition to.
I'm gonna stop it right there for a minute because it was just going back about what we know. Both fighters have said what they said, whether you believe it or not, back and forth here on YouTube, on social media, shit like that. It gets crazy, bro. Back to the comments, man. The media is trying to create headlines, more soap opera BS. Pitbull Cruz definitely told this girl it was red panty night after he got the Tank fight. Yeah, he did. Absolutely. They went to, have some margaritas and sip on that shit, man, and say, yeah, we're gonna make it pop as best we know how for the long as it lasts. You know what I'm saying? That's what Rolly said. I'm gonna give you the best 30 seconds of my life. We didn't know that Rolly probably I'm gonna leave that alone. Undisputed 147 not gonna happen. Happen, baby, in my Keith Thurman voice. Yeah, I wish Keith Thurman was a bit more active, with his not just his mouthpiece, but his presence, because it would be good to see him pick up another title, because definitely Keith Thurman become champion again. He can kind of get one, the Crawford or Spence fight for real. He's that guy. The rumors that meeting was about a fight at 140 with Haney versus Cepeda. Man, Cepeda. Look, Cepeda's name is ringing right now from him stopping Josue Vargas, right? But besides his fight with Baranchik, don't nobody be talking about Cepeda unless you're a hardcore boxing fan and know about him. I like Cepeda. I like his toughness. I like how he brings that motherfucking fire, that heat. I do. But seriously, what does Devin Haney has to gain by taking a huge risk moving up to 140 and facing a power hitter, a heavy hitter like Cepeda? When I say heavy hitter, I'm talking about just the way he carries out his offensive strategy, his onslaught. Cepeda's been through the motherfucking depths of hell. He's been through adversity, being on the canvas several times, and he's been there. It wasn't no fluke that he went in there and destroyed Josue Vargas. Fortuna was a good victory for JoJo. That was his first fight at 135. Fight was closer than most people like to admit, though. I agree with that, Mitch. I agree with you wholeheartedly that the fight was closer. I never once mentioned that was a wash. I never did. It was a lot closer, like you said, than people admit. They're not giving Javier Fortuna the love and respect because he's up and down. He's like this dude. I swear, like 1 minute he say he's fighting so and so, and then him and Devin Haney is. I mean, the name is popping up in social media and with Javier's manager, and they're talking about making a fight and all this, and then it just automatically disappears. No, nothing else is said about it. I mean, people don't know what to think about Javier. I seen him quit in person. I seen him quit. I seen him quit against Adrian Granados in the Spence Ocampo undercard. Absolutely did. But good point there, Mitch. I agree. I thought Fortuna edged it out. I don't know. It was a 50-50, man. I didn't really know. I didn't know who won that fight, though. Like with boxing, this is the unique part about the judging. People don't take in consideration of the individual's background on who's judging boxing. Like it's not like these individuals have an extensive boxing or combat sports career, right? Not even the referees. So you really don't know what they like. They might like a guy who's doing something specifically during the fight. Let's just say he continues to press the pace. He's a more pressure fighter. Let's say they might like the guy who's more fundamentally sound and technically disciplined, or the guy who has the more power when the fighters exchange and let their hands go and they able to authoritate. They seize the momentum. I mean, you don't know what these judges are fucking thinking. So sometimes what we're looking at home, and then what the scorecards are saying, people will always shake their head because we don't know what the judges are looking for. We don't know the background and the standards that this judge has. We don't know if they competed in the sport. We don't know if they ever stepped into a gym. The same thing goes for mixed martial arts. At one point in time in the UFC, the judging was so bad that Dana White said, you know what, we have to look, we have to come up with some type of standard, something with these judges, because these decisions are horrible. We got to do something different. Isaac Cruz would beat Rolly, in my opinion. I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I don't know. The reason why I say that, Mitch, is that Isaac Cruz, and I'm not really complimenting his boxing skills, like putting on a dressing them up real nice. I just feel that he has better skills than Rolly, though. He may repeatedly do the same thing, but he has better boxing skills than Rolly Romero. Some of the shit I see Rolly do, I have to step away from the screen and come back. Because I was like, damn, somebody set that up for him to rob Jackson Marinez, that faithful night in Connecticut, when you know damn well he cannot box. Let's not make excuses because Rolly Romero started the sport late. We don't want to make excuses for that shit. Rolly Romero cannot box. He can fight. He's doghouse certified, but Rolly Romero, no. He clearly lost that fight against Jackson Marinez, and that was for a title. So I feel Isaac Cruz's skill set, though it may be predictable, is better than Rolly Romero. That would have been a hell of a fight. That shit right there would have been a hell of a fight because both of them guys love throwing bombs. Both of them love goddamn lighting the wick. They love explosions, man. We call them ammo techs. Demolition crew. They love damn explosions. JoJo is a solid fighter for Haney. Haney presents a great opportunity for JoJo. I would agree with JoJo is a solid fight for Haney. Yes, true words. Does he present a great opportunity? Haney presents a great opportunity for JoJo. Well, I will have to say, if you're looking at the possibility of JoJo winning the fight, I don't see JoJo winning this fight at all. I don't see him catching Devin. I don't see him winning at all. Just like, just like it was said, JoJo just got to the 135-pound division. He just got here. He has so much more work to do. He has a great opportunity to grace the square with Haney. But as far as competition wise, I'm going to be honest with you. I do not see him. I don't see this being a close fight at all, y'all. I don't see it. I don't see it for real. This might be a 10-2 event for real. I'm taking it back to the old school. I see this being a 10-2 for real. I see this being 10 rounds to 2. God damn it, in favor of Devin Haney. It's no way somebody's going to convince me that JoJo Diaz, the one who couldn't keep up with Gary Russell at 26, y'all. He couldn't keep up with the volume of punches with Gary Russell. He's going to come up here and keep up with the volume and the activity of Devin Haney? Is that what y'all trying to tell me? This dude's going to come up to a division and with the fighter whose volume can be relatable to like 130 pound, 126 pound. You trying to say the performance from round 1 to 10 that he put on against Jorge Linares, JoJo Diaz is going to be able to keep up? I guess it's a different way of keeping up for real. Like being drugged behind something that you latched on to. I guess you're keeping up by force. I mean, I don't see him being no more than 10-2, bro. For real. Like JoJo is tough as shit. We seen that bad cut he had over his left eye. He fought on though. It's just amazing they let him fight on with his eye that fucked up. You know why they let him fought on? They let him carry on because they wanted him to win the title. They wanted to give him ample amount of opportunity to become world champion. Anybody else with a cut over the eye like that, the fight would have been stopped. The fight would have been fucking stopped, dog. Bill was looking at Cepeda because nobody at 135 wanted to get in the ring with Devin. JoJo was looking for a sweet guy. A sweet guy, Ryan. Now, when it comes to JoJo and Ryan Garcia, I take it just like Luke Campbell and Ryan Garcia. JoJo would have had success with Ryan Garcia if he played his cards right, if he went about the game plan correctly. He would have had success because Ryan Garcia, he does have power to certain people. JoJo Diaz can get hit a lot. So if Ryan wants to land that damn that counter left hook or that lead left hook like he loves to do, and inflict his speed on JoJo Diaz, the fight would have been very interesting. But also for Devin Haney moving up to 140 and facing a guy like Cepeda, a rough house type of fighter, that would have been a damn good fight. Because Cepeda can box too. And he has power. That would have been a very high risk fight. Because Cepeda's a dog. Look how his opponent that brought him to the surface of notoriety, Baranchik. Look how he fights. Look how Baranchik fight. And look how Montana Love nullified that shit. You see the similarities? Look how Montana Love nullified the intensity of Baranchik, who's decapitating him. And we don't see Montana Love as this guy who's all about going in there and getting cut up and having an all-out brawl. He's more a finesse fighter. He want to make that shit look pretty. He want to give you a boxing lesson. Well, what the fuck you think Devin Haney's gonna do if he stepped in there with Cepeda? He's gonna take Cepeda through the same thing Montel and Love took Baranchik. He's gonna goddamn show how quick his defense is, let his hands fly, and have Cepeda over there saying, "Damn, this guy's fast." And then he's gonna try to focus on cutting off the ring and see if Devin can handle his power. If we didn't get anything from Linares fight, you know, outside of what people continue to talk about, even who stabs him in the back and talk about, he had him on wobbly legs, but the man never went down. We have to examine and zoom in to the first to the 10th round, bro. That was some damn good boxing from Devin. Very solid. That's what we look for in a fight. Like, that shit was for real. How he was moving, his elusive defense, fighting in the pocket. This is what I said when I was looking at that fight. I said Bill and Devin are up here listening to the fans. They're not just not giving a damn about what people saying. They took that shit. They collected the data. They went to the gym. They were working, and they came in there and fought Linares aggressively. Seriously. So what the fuck you expect when you fight a fight like that aggressively on the inside and making this motherfucker miss like he did? You bound to get caught sooner or later. And Devin got caught, but he never hit the canvas though. So what you think Cepeda's going to be in for? The same work that Linares got, but he's going to know when to separate. He's not gonna stay on the clock too long when he's on the inside. He's gonna check in, check out, keep it a boxing match. The same shit Shakur Stevenson did with Toka Clara and Nakathila. If I'm pronouncing it, he stayed on the outside and he didn't give a fuck what we thought. He said, "I'm gonna box this nigga, both of them. I don't give a damn what you think." But what we got heading into the Jamel Herring fight, they were saying that Shakur Stevenson is overrated. Look at his last two fights. Look at this. He hasn't been the fighter we thought he was. He's boring. He's not entertaining. He went in there and put on a motherfucking show. And I truly believe if indeed Devin would have took that fight with Cepeda, been similar to Jorge Linares' performance, but holding out the complacency part of it, clocking in and knowing when to clock out on time, keeping his space etiquette and not putting himself in a position to get caught. That's all. But everything else leading up to that point, man, come on, man. What you watch boxing for? If you didn't appreciate that performance, what are you watching boxing for? Look, the way he Linares, in my opinion, was much more entertaining than Teofimo Lopez fought Vasily Lomachenko the first half of the fight. It became interesting because Lomachenko was trying to come from behind. But when you're talking about defense, when you're talking about Linares was sitting down in his punches trying to take Haney's head off, I mean, the shit was very, very entertaining. Jackson Marinez beat Rolly easily. Marinez got ganked. Then went on to get his ass whooped. I forgot who just beat him. Richard Comey. Richard Comey beat him. Smashed him. Dog. Richard Comey destroyed him. It's amazing how styles make fight, right? It's just amazing how styles make fights. Seriously. You're talking about Jackson Marinez who went in there and outboxed the shit out of Rolly. And Mitch, we look at Rolly as not having boxing skills, right? But Jackson Marinez went the distance with him. Okay? So forget about Rolly's next fight. Let's talk about Jackson Marinez's fight. He's going in there with a former world champion, Richard Comey, who has way more boxing skills than Rolly Romero. So what Jackson Marinez know that Richard Comey had more power than Rolly Romero, and he was gonna have to play it a bit smarter with Richard Comey, because Richard Comey former world champion, and his level of boxing IQ exceeds that of Rolly Romero. But what he wasn't expecting was how close Richard Comey kept the fight and how much power Richard Comey possessed. Styles make motherfucking fights, man. I thought Jackson Mariñez was gonna go a long ways with the way he was boxing Rolly, but Mariñez looked good against a person that couldn't box, against a fighter who couldn't box. Rolly couldn't fucking box. So I'm looking at Mariñez shine, and I'm saying to myself, who's who? Who's making who look good? Rolly was making Mariñez look good. Richard Comey shut all that shit down. He said, I'm going to look good tonight because though you shine against Rolly, you ain't shining against me. And that's just, it's incredible how that's the damn ebbs and flow of boxing. Richard Comey goes in there against T.O., boom, shuts him down in 2 rounds, man. And then he comes back in here against Jackson Mariñez, and I think he stops him in 6. That's crazy, bro. That's super, super crazy, bro. For real. Real talk, man. That's just crazy. It was good, though. Let me fast forward this to what Jojo Diaz was talking about.
The story from finance. Visualizing the fight. Okay, you gotta take him to places he's never been before. At what point do you feel like when you're in the fight, you're gonna be looking at him, knowing you've taken him to that place that other fighters have not taken him? Do you think you'll be able to take him there right away, or is there gonna come a point in the fight where you're gonna realize now you're the place where I've been and you've never been?
Fourth, fifth round. After that, I feel like he's gonna be like, oh shit, like he's gonna be to the point where he's gonna try to get his second win already, and he's gonna try to get that second win and that second endurance. And I'm just gonna take it to him. I'm gonna take his heart and I'm gonna take his will. I'm just gonna break him down both physically and mentally. That's what I'm planning on doing. I've been training my ass off. I've been busting my ass. I feel physically and mentally strong at this weight. My body, my endurance, everything's good. My speed's good. So I already know that he's just going to try to keep me out on the outside. That's all he has. If he's going to try to bang with me, man, that's a whole different story. He's just going to get his ass whooped early on in the fight.
Is there a chip on your shoulder because of all the Teofimo talk? I was just over there. Most of the questions are about Teofimo Lopez. You're coming in with a chip.
So now he dry snitching. Now he's trying to get enough of his views. And see, I've never been the type of voice that do it for views. You know what I'm saying? It would be good that people view, but transparently, when it comes down to these guys, like once again, they just ask these questions that they don't care how it sounds. They just want to get the reaction from the fighter. So if the reaction from the fighter is impulsively and negative, it's even better. But if the fighter responds to them professionally, then they say, let me ask another one. So he loaded this question and talking about what they was doing over there, asking Teofimo Lopez questions. And then they want to sit up here and ask Jojo Diaz about him taking Devin Haney to a place. What place are we talking about? This ain't the yellow brick road. What place are you talking about taking? Like, you haven't even fought the caliber opposition of a Devin Haney. Like, what are you talking about, Shouty? For real? How can Jojo Diaz, who's heading to his second fight in the 135-pound division, take Devin Haney to a different place he's never experienced with Jorge Linares or Yorkis Gamboa? Not only that, not just that, but what the hell is Jojo talking about? You trying to tell me you have better cardio? Why didn't you run through why didn't you run through Javier Fortuna though? So you're gonna take a better box and you're gonna break him down. And while he's trying to catch his second win from your pace, you're gonna pull off something that you wasn't able to do against Javier Fortuna? Physically and mentally, you're delusional right now. You're talking about one of the fighters that have one of the best gas tanks, that treats the sport like it's a profession. He shows up to work the right way. So I don't know what Jojo Diaz was talking about. He's gonna take him this place while he's trying to catch his second win. What pace did you experience against Gary Russell Jr., bro? That was this caveats to Gary Russell Jr.'s pace. And you got that from that fight. Because when Gary Russell Jr. pressed the gas and his punch volume went up, you couldn't hang. So how can you go from a lighter weight class of 26 up to 35 and all of a sudden you saying you feel stronger, you feel this, that, and that? Why we didn't see it in Javier Fortuna fight? You had more time to train for Javier Fortuna than you have for Devin Haney.
Do you even know that most of the questions are being answered about Teofimo Lopez?
Nah, man. Like I said, I really don't even care what they're talking about because, like I said, man, I've been manifesting this moment in my life since I was 13 years old, fighting a main event here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas for the WBC World Title, man. This is the moment that I've been dreaming about my whole entire life. So I'm not thinking about anything else right now. This is my main focus and this is my main goal and my main objective. So I've been busting day in and day out to be the best that I possibly can be December 4th. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's young because he don't realize that. He don't realize that he's thinking 3 steps ahead already. He's thinking about the future where instead he should be thinking about the now because I'm a different dog in there and I'm gonna bring it out of me.
Jojo, we've seen the top guys in this division right now, the Ryan Garcias, the Teofimo Lopez's, they find each other.
See how now they transition from asking Devin Haney about Teofimo's situation, because directly people link up Teofimo. It's been so much talk up here. It's been so much talk about Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez. I can understand why they're coupled in the same talking point, right? At the topic of discussion. But yet these guys are over here, and that just goes to show you the A side and the B side. Now they're over here in Jojo Diaz face as if they're damn double agents. Look at those guys, Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. They're not fighting each other. It's not that easy. They should know that, but they don't give a fuck about the boxer. They just give a fuck about the content. That's all. You're trying to say fighters aren't fighting each other like it's that fucking easy to do. I mean, what are you looking at? Teofimo Lopez, this person Nakatani, this person Comey, this person Lomachenko. Isn't that a trifecta right there? A respectable trifecta? Is mandatory? The only reason, this conversation even arises is because the franchise belt. Take away the franchise belt, and it'll be much more considerable to say, why aren't you facing Devin Haney for the W? But check this out. We can say the same thing about Vasily Lomachenko. The only thing he had to do was face the IBF champion at the time, Teofimo Lopez. That's all he had to do. But he chose to petition for the franchise belt. So we can't really put a lot of blame on what Mauricio Suleiman inserted into boxing in the lightweight division. We really can't blame the fighters for taking advantage of it, because Vasily only had one title left. It was at one point in time Mikey Garcia was even unified champion. You know what I'm saying? Now we have Teofimo Lopez, but the only thing about it, he was able to get a hold of the franchise belt. Vasily Lomachenko, he had just won the WBC, the vacant WBC from Luke Campbell. Fighting Luke Campbell. The only thing he had to do is keep it and fight for the IBF title. He's undisputed. If he wins, he's undisputed. Or Teofimo's undisputed. Then the conversation won't be with all the hoopla hayla on what site has him as the WBC champion and what site doesn't. Real talk. Now it becomes a fucking soap opera, because we have the president of the WBC placing the belt in the equation, and he pick and chooses when he wants to recognize Teofimo Lopez as the undisputed champion or just the unified champion. Which one is it going to be?
Come December 4th, you get that win. We've already seen the Ryan Garcia fight was made, obviously got the injury. Are you ready to just get these fights made for the Teofimos and all that sort of stuff?
Absolutely. I don't even want to deal with Ryan Garcia anymore, man. Ryan Garcia's a bitch, and he's always going to be a bitch. He's always going to be either be pulling out or faking an injury or doing something where he's not going to. top tier opponents. I feel like Ryan Garcia is just based off of his social media, and he's making a lot of money outside of the ring, where he don't want to, jeopardize him losing inside the ring because it'll fall back and cause a lot of ruckus inside his, inside his personal life.
Hey, that's the smartest thing that JoJo said. That is exactly right. Ryan Garcia isn't trying to pick up that L because he has other events or other ventures outside the box making him money. Ryan Garcia tried to basically fake the funk, put on the facade as much as he possibly can, and to the point where it just became blatant. And he had to say, you know what? People are going to expose me for who I am, and I have to take it. I'm going back to make this movie. So Ryan Garcia has been over there filming, making a movie. We don't know how is it going to do, but I guarantee you this, right? This is going to be the wild part about Ryan Garcia's career post boxing. When it comes down to him transitioning over to the silver screen, people are going to go see the movie because they, at one point in time, seen Ryan Garcia competing in reality. He was competing in the sport in reality. It doesn't matter if he was the biggest capper in the sport. It doesn't matter if he was sitting up here making up lies, turning down fights. They're going to treat him the same way they treated Gabe Rosado when they saw him in Creed. They're going to treat him the same way they saw Andre Ward when he said, I got next. They're going to treat him the same fucking way when they say Tony Bellew in that motherfucker. Because these are actually individuals who fought. But with Ryan Garcia's following outside the sport, people are going to tune in. They're going to say, oh, shit, Ryan Garcia's movie out. What are you going to do? You going to go see it? Man, let's fuck it. Let's go see it. Ain't nobody going to know. I don't like him as a boxer, but I heard his movie. He's going to be in there with a fine ass co-star. They're going to go check out the movie. If the movie, shines and people want to go see it, guess what? It's only going to bring more popularity to Ryan Garcia when he comes back to boxing. Remember, I told you that. It's people look boxing. All these fans and this audience want to do is find something to latch on to. That's how they support their fighter. It's not just them going into the ring putting on a damn good performance. We seen fighters in here put on a damn, and don't nobody know who the fuck they are when they exit the ring, shower, and go home. Ain't nobody talking about them anymore. People talk about Floyd Mayweather even if he retired because he always have, when you see him or when he's in front of the camera, it's always something like this stems from his career. So when Floyd was in his career, he did things outside the ring that gathered attention, that piqued the viewer's attention, like his fleet of cars, mansions, the girls, jewelry, living that lifestyle. Ryan Garcia goes in here and he's on the big screen. Man, he's gonna get treated like a lot of other athletes that's out there that crossed over to the big screen. For real. Even Victor Ortiz. Look, Victor Ortiz was in the Expendables. Randy Couture was in the Expendables. Rampage Jackson. I mean, look how many people. Michael Bisping was on the silver screen. And Michael tell you, I'm not the most handsome guy, but somebody like me. I mean, he's going in there with a group of people that's been on the big screen, man. So Jojo Diaz called him a bitch. That's small because you know what Ryan Garcia said, I'm making more money than you. I'm prettier than you. I'm on the big screen. You go see me at the movies. You rarely see boxers able to transition this young in the sport over to the big screen and like that flame of interest. His fans are gonna go tune in and see him. They're gonna say, man, that movie with Ryan is out, man. They're gonna go taking screenshots of the flyer, like the poster when it come out. So Jojo, hey, you hit that on the head, man. He is gonna fake an injury. He did.
income that he's making right now. So I don't think that Ryan Garcia is ever going to want to fight a top tier opponent. I think he wants to fight guys that he knows that he's going to knock out. So after Haney, man, if Teofimo Lopez want to fight, if anybody wants to fight, I want to fight Gervonta Davis. That's the guy that I want to fight next. After this fight, I want to fight Gervonta Davis because I feel like it will be a fan-friendly fight. Because I'm the type of guy that wants to bang on the inside and wants to give the fight fans what they want to see, and so is Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is not like Devin Haney that's wanting to box around, run on his bicycle, and just try to win and look cute. Gervonta Davis is going to try to knock you out and hurt you, and that's
Okay, so Joe said Gervonta isn't a Devin Haney who on the run. Coming from a boxer who's saying he like to bang on the inside, you didn't join the sport for the sweet science at all. Jojo Diaz joined the sport to get a paycheck and to hopefully impress whoever loves his aggressive fighting style. It doesn't mean it's the right fighting style, but like I said before, you went in there with Gary Russell Jr., who is a boxer, who's known to have the fastest hands in this sport. You went in there with Gary Russell and you couldn't keep up. Did that fighting style you had, was it fan friendly when you was in there with G Russell? I'm just saying, was it fan friendly when you went in there? Do people talk about your fight with Tevin Farmer? So to say that Devin Haney is running around the ring when it's considered to be boxing, like it's been boxing, and there's so many different styles of the sport. How is it that you saying he ran against Jorge Linares? That's what I'm talking about. Bill and Devin was listening to the fans talking. They probably heard what so many people said, including myself. Devin Haney went back in there and fought different against Jorge Linares. So the style he fought with Linares, Jojo has to admit that he wasn't running around the ring. He's just that cool. Jojo Diaz has to do a self-check and say, you know what, I gotta give him his props. He wasn't running against Jorge Linares like that until he got caught and he was holding. But from 1 through 10, he was doing his deed. He was shining on freaking Jorge Linares. But what Jojo Diaz don't understand is that though he wants Gervonta Davis, who pretty much has his hand dipped in punishment, you want to bang with Gervonta on the inside, dog? Seriously, there, Jojo, have you been hit too many times? Which fighter have we seen do that? Leo Santa Cruz didn't even bang with him on the inside like that. The only person I seen bang with Gervonta on the inside, and I fuck with Gervonta, man. Don't take this personal, man. The only person I seen bang with him on the inside was his sparring with freaking Brian Norman Jr., man. I know that's sparring, but inside the ring, I haven't seen individuals bang with Gervonta on the inside. Why would Jojo believe that he's going to be the one to get that type of activity and respect for Gervonta just to fight you on the inside like it's a Peter Baranchik? You know what I'm saying? Like it's Mickey Ward and Gotti. Like it's Floyd Gotti. What make you think you're going to get that shit? Gervonta doesn't, he doesn't even have the same mentality as Floyd Mayweather. Like his skill set, in my opinion, his skill set is all his own. Like Gervonta boxes and fights the way he chooses. It's no specific style that you'll look, oh, that's Floyd, that's Floyd, that's Floyd, that's Floyd. Not even. Gervonta's fighting style is all his own. He's a proprietor of that style, and he's damn good at it. For Jojo Diaz to think he want to be in that motherfucking furnace, in that cage, and we want to talk about cardio, Jojo? Bro, come on. You would get stopped. Where was it against Fortuna? Where was all this heat? Where was all this cardio? Where is all this sting and mustard? Where was all the gas we was talking about? I don't see it.
fighter that I am as well. So it'll be an exciting fight for the fight.
What is the most dangerous thing about fight that, man?
That's Kendrick. Shout out to Kendrick.
I would say just his jab, just trying to keep out of his range and trying to, look cute and not get hit. But like I said, man, I've already been there with multiple guys that try to use that jab, that try to utilize that jab, try to fly like Floyd Mayweather, try to use the uppercut and roll, try to use the right hand and roll. It's just all basically the same stuff, man. So it's nothing that I never seen before. So when I go in there, I'm just gonna go out there and just adjust and just be the best person that I possibly can.
Because Ryan Garcia, you insinuate he doesn't want to be a fighter, he wants to do other things. Do you think there was a point in the Luke Campbell fight where that changed his mind about that? Was that a level that maybe he hadn't seen before and made him have second thoughts?
Exactly, man. Because Luke Campbell can't hurt a fly, and he was able to, knock down.
That sounds like Paulie Malignaggi, doesn't it? We know Paulie wouldn't be in the media scrum asking no damn question, but whoever that is sounds just like Paulie. But speaking about, what Ryan experienced in that with Luke Campbell, I said that forever. Like, come on, we knew he was fighting super soft touches. When that shit Luke Campbell, man, it wasn't a shocker, bro. It wasn't a shocker that Luke Campbell dropped Ryan Garcia. It was bound to happen. But Jojo Diaz, you can't just keep hyping on Ryan Garcia and say that he's on the big screen and he's doing other things. You already figured it out. So since you figured out Ryan Garcia, move the fuck on to something else. Keep on talking about how cute Devin Haney is. So because you're gonna have to deal with that cuteness, it get ugly. Because the most fucked up thing you can do is believe a situation that's presented to you from Devin Haney is cute, but yet when you're looking on the big screen and that camera is zoomed in, they talking about numbers don't lie. The motherfucking lens don't either. And you up here looking worse than you did with Tevin Farmer. It's gonna be crazy. Because if you're talking about the person who looks cute, then you should come up that motherfucker unscathed. But when the camera zoom in on you, we don't know what to think about Jojo Diaz. We remember in the media scrum, he was talking about, Devin Haney being all cute and everything, but boy, he doesn't fit the bill, does he? What he's been in a fight with? An angry badger, a pond, Kodiak bear. Oh, he looks the worst for wear, people. Somebody get that man a second cut, man. Bring the ice bucket. Do we have Tay Jones over here? Have him put some crowd therapy between rounds because Jojo Diaz is swelling badly. I'm serious. That shit is gonna be crazy, man. Like for him to sit up here and talk about cuteness. It's just, I don't know. I guess he's just talking himself into a fight. You know what I'm saying? Cute. They always say the brother's trying to be cute, man. Like we trying to on a conversation, complete a full sentence when we get to the point of retirement in boxing. Then you got fight and you was trying to be cute. You didn't want to engage, and then they on themselves and goddamn, their jaw is all fucked up. People ask them a question, they have to blink, 5 times before they answer it. This sport is unforgiving. It's merciless, bro. Boxing is no joke.
Ryan Garcia and actually hurt him. And I thought that Luke Campbell had the experience to actually go out there and just end him because Ryan Garcia was hurt. And there was still like 2 minutes into that round still left in that round where he could have knocked him out because Ryan Garcia, his legs were gone.
I'm going to stop it right there because really Ryan Garcia is relevant to boxing right now. So that's just the lack of experience Jojo Diaz has with PR interaction. You have a fight coming up with the division champion, the WBC world champion, right? And you're explaining about a fighter who obviously ducked you, but yet you're talking about a fight that you had nothing to do with. You didn't have Luke Campbell Ryan. So why are you even talking about it? That's what they want you to do. You keeping, just like Floyd Mayweather, you keeping Ryan Garcia's name relevant. You already made the point that he's doing something. He's made. off his fan base and his second career, right? So that's a plus for Ryan. And now you're talking about his fight with Luke Campbell. It's too much time, for real. Mitch say Haney might look better versus Cepeda than he did versus Linares. Cepeda be getting dropped by some soft shit. That's what happened when they talk about brothers want to fight, box cute. You know what I'm saying? The cuteness, it relieves some of that damage that you take over time. And if Cepeda, just think about this, if Cepeda fights the way he inside the ring with Baranchik, and they go mano a mano, heart for heart, imagine what he was doing in sparring. You ever think about these guys who go light in the ring without trying to, fight at a distance and box and use their footwork, what they're doing in sparring? That's punishment. Boxers don't get pugilistica and dimension and all that stuff just from going in the ring fighting. That shit is from sparring and everything else up to the fight and what goes on during the fight itself. And then the period following the bout, how much punishment they took, how much damage their internal organs took, their brain, their soft tissue, all that shit. You have to factor in. That's right. It was Comey that stopped Marinas. Yeah, Richard Comey, man. Richard Comey went in and got the job done. Richard Comey got the job done. Hold on for a second. JoJo sounding like a bitch himself. Ryan wasn't a bitch when you was running to fight him. How ironic. Bitch should have signed to fight Haney 2 months ago. They talk your shit, dog. I don't have no response to that. That shit is absolutely right, man. How ironic. You're absolutely right. Real talk. Ryan's okay. That's you got to think about it. That's life in general, especially when it comes to physical sports. In this particular case, you wanted to fight Ryan Garcia because of his following, and not Devin Haney. But it backfired on you. Ryan, he drew you in, gave you the bait, and then he snatched it when you was there reaching for the damn the meal. When you was reaching over there to see how it tastes, he said, "Nah, I don't want you eating at the table yet. I got other things. I'm working with right now. I'll come back to you later. You don't get this treatment right now. You know what I'm saying? You don't get this VIP service. Jojo Diaz was running the fight, Ryan Garcia. He wanted to do the same thing that Gervonta Davis said. He said, "Yeah, I want to fight Ryan Garcia. You know, he has 8 million followers, this, that, and the other. He has fans. Same thing Jojo Diaz wanted. Ryan backed out of the fight. Now he got a double back. He got a motherfucking pick his face up out the toilet and say, you know what? I'm gonna face Devin Haney. And you know what happens when you come back around for your second choice, which should have been your first choice? It goes all bad for you. It's gonna be all bad for JoJo. He's about to pick up his next loss. It's gonna be all bad for him because Devin Haney wasn't his first choice. Ryan was. Two different style fighters. Two different styles. I know Jojo Diaz wanted to face Ryan Garcia because he feel like that was an easier opponent than Devin Haney. Now he's about to face the tougher opponent, and he's going to get dealt with, period. Jojo just saying more bullshit. After Haney, I won't tank. You want a petty. It's stupid. Should want Teofimo for all the belts, right? Yep. He should be trying to get that Teofimo Lopez fight for the belts. You're absolutely right, man. And tell me this, Mitch. If you're already forecasting you're going to beat Haney and you become the WBC championship, why would you fight? Why would you want to fight Gervonta and not Teofimo Lopez like you just said? Why? Damn good point. That's what I'm talking about, live chat, man. Talk y'all shit, dog. Talk y'all shit, bro. Vegas Mark on deck. I love the MGM Grand. Two big fights there, less than a month apart. You know how the MGM Grand rocks, man. We had two fights there that was a part of one of the epic trilogies in the heavyweight division. I mean, we had so many fights go down. Adrian Broner, Manning Pacquiao. It's just been too many, man. Joseph ain't lying about Luke versus Ryan. Ryan was fucked up after that knockdown. Luke wouldn't have received that under the table Golden Girl bonus had he finished Ryan, though. True. You know, they did the grip and grand photos behind the scenes and shit. You got the order there, Luke? Yes, I understand what I must do and what I won't do. Okay. Ryan's gonna give you the knockdown, but when he gets back up, you better act like you can't box. Okay? Fuck all the Olympic prestige and everything. We're talking about professional. In professional boxing, there's orders given. Okay? You follow that order and you get what we talked about. You understand? I want to hear no mention of it. I understand. Luke Campbell understands. I get it. All of a sudden, Ryan Garcia rises from the canvas, and Luke Campbell forgets how to box. We're talking about an Olympian, right? He forgets how to close down a fight. Man, get out of here. Hey, someone tell Luke Campbell to come over to the office right quick. Yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, great fight, wasn't it? Awesome. Hey, you'll be back. Don't worry about it. You'll be back. You lost to two great boxers. of recent notables. Come on, man. Lomachenko, come on, man. Ryan Garcia, come on, man. Big names. Don't worry about it. Some of the greats have lost the big names too. Don't worry about it. But here, this is what we talked about. Take this envelope, hurry up and put it in your bag, and no mention of it, okay? All right, cool. Sparring makes you take more shots because the headgear somewhat prevents you from getting knocked down. These fighters be doing 100+ rounds easy to prepare for a single fight. True, man. True. Talk that shit, bro. Headgear, I'm telling you, headgear will ring you like no other bell that you've been around. That shit will have you chiming. Bing. You'll say to yourself, oh my God, what did I just get hit with? That's why they remove headgear at the Olympics, because finally somebody with some sense found out that you can suffer just as much damage with headgear on than with. So they said, do without headgear. Headgear is not that pillow that you think it is. Seriously. That's why some individuals, you see them spar, they don't spar with no headgear. They don't spar with no headgear, man. Some do, some don't. But that's a good point that you made, though. You know what I'm saying? These fighters going in here and sparring all those rounds, and you think their brain is not taking the adverse effect of it? Their brain is going through crazy shit. You have no idea, man. Y'all have no idea, man. I mean, some of you all probably do, but the brain is just amazing, man. The way it's wired, the neurological setup and the infrastructure of the brain, it's just incredible. Like the basically disrupt the way your brain is already set up for you to function in a daily setting, right? Considered to be normal. Cognizantly, you're doing things you're supposed to do. You know right from wrong. You know how to go up here to the mailbox. You know how to order your own food and shit like that. When your brain is damaged and continue to take impact the way it is, you start going through changes to the point where you forget things. Things that used to be simple become difficult. You all of a sudden you have downtime where you're not actively engaged in something such as what you know and remediated, like throwing punches, going, hitting the bag, doing mid training, something like that. And you're just having downtime and your body's relaxing. You may begin to experience migraines. You may begin to have some type of flashbacks of being in a fight, PTSD. You might have those flashes that you want to hurt. All that plus more involves the sport of boxing, man. And it's just something that will never go away. It will never go away. You continue to see boxers lose their lives. You could see boxers suffer incredible amount of damage, having slurred speech, catching dementia, dying. It's just part of the sport, man. Speaking with boxers and they have slurred speech, that is the fury of it all. For real. That's the fury of it all. Real talk. People don't like to talk about it, but it's real life, bro. It ain't going nowhere. Easy. But this Jojo Diaz situation, he said a lot. Jojo Diaz said a lot, and he's gonna have to pretty much own up to that shit. And look what they say out here on the headlines. Ryan Garcia is a bitch. Jojo Diaz wants Tank Davis out the Haney fight. And then I can say for a fact, what Mitch put out here makes all the sense in the world. It's golden. Why would you want Tank for the money? A pere, instead of doing it for your legacy, bro. Do you know how much more money you will make Teofimo Lopez in an undisputed title fight? What are we talking about? You don't see that? That's not something that's lucid to you. If you defeat Devin Haney and take the WBC title, you wouldn't want to fight Teofimo Lopez every. Yeah, dipped out for some apparent reason. But anyway, they already have this Ryan Garcia headline up here. That's exactly what those individuals wanted to get out of it. Now Ryan Garcia, who isn't in the sport right now, who is the biggest capper in boxing, the biggest ducker in boxing, he's in the headlines. He's sitting back there looking like, that's what we want. We want our name to be talked about, even though we don't have a fight coming up. You know what I'm saying? It's pointless to have this shit up here. It's pointless. It's pointless, man. Canelo Alvarez, they're not even really hyping up Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant. They're busy up here talking about Jojo Diaz and what he said about Ryan Garcia and what Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz was discussing, going back and forth about. I mean, come on, man. It wasn't really like that. Shakur Stevenson reacts to Teofimo saying Lomachenko beats him. That's one person I like to stay on Twitter, but not too much. Is Shakur Stevenson. His Twitter game is becoming platinum right now, dog. Shakur Stevenson's Twitter game is becoming platinum. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit's gonna be a force to reckon with. And I think with Teofimo Lopez saying Lomachenko beats him, I just think that's one of those, jabs that you take at somebody just because you've been in the ring with him. You got bragging. And plus, Shakur Stevenson, ventured up to 135 pounds yet. We know damn well if Lomachenko chose to drop down to 130 and face Shakur Stevenson, because Oscar Valdez, it seems like he just want to talk about facing Shakur Stevenson. That's all. Everything else outside of his action, he might want to get in there with Emmanuel Navarrete, and that's not an easy fight. But I've heard him speak on it, over and over again. But if Shakur Stevenson, faces Lomachenko at 130, that'll be great. Because I seriously doubt Shakur is going to move up to 135 and face Lomachenko in his first fight in the division. That's just my opinion. I hope Richard Comey looks good in this fight against Lomachenko. I really hope it's not that he get blasted out in shorter time than Teofimo, because that's just not possible. Like what he did with Masayoshi Nakatani, in my opinion, Nakatani is damaged goods. He's damaged goods. Real talk. He had a head injury in the Teofimo Lopez from the Teofimo Lopez fight. Then he goes in there with Felix Verdejo. And you know what happened in that fight. And he get destroyed against Lomachenko, who's not even a power puncher like that. So I hope Richard Comey doesn't go in there and get blasted out in under 2 rounds. I really hope not. Teofimo said this about Lomachenko's beat Shakur. Lomachenko will beat Shakur, said Teofimo on Thursday. You got to stick more than excuse me, Boxing News 24. They don't have an editor that's on deck at all. You got to stick more there rather than Stevenson using his pullback style, said Teofimo, and pointing out Shakur's bad habit of immediately pulling back to avoid getting hit. You can't fight like that. Pretty Boy even did it. Stood and fought. Oh, for real? Teofimo? Were you high when you made this statement? Were you fucking high? He said, Pretty Boy even stood and fought. Yeah, he did. But why are you bringing Floyd into the equation? He didn't do that every fight. But why are you bringing him into the equation for another black fighter? I don't get anything from Shakur that's Floyd-esque. Like, the only person that really tried to be Floyd, in my opinion, was freaking Adrian Broner. At one point in time, Adrian Broner was really trying to emulate Floyd's style. Pretty Boy even did it. Stood and fought. Pretty Boy had to go in and dig in sometimes, exactly. And sometimes he got buckled, but he still fought, said T.O. Man, come on, bro. It's a reason why Pretty Boy was able to get away with it. He was a genius, his boxing IQ. He just didn't stand in there and ball out. Even when he was fighting on the inside against Gotti, he wasn't taking no punishment like that to make him want to abort mission and back the fuck up. He wasn't afraid. You know, he was having success in there. Always comparing Floyd to other black fighters, man. You ever hear them compare Floyd to Lomachenko? For real. Have you heard them compare Floyd to freaking Caleb Plant? Y'all know what it is, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports, man. I'm out.